What's going on, everybody? I'm Jiffy Nano, and Cyberpunk 2077 is finally here, so I thought it would be helpful for some players if we went over all of the skill trees in the game to help get everyone an idea of what they want to go for. I've played a lot of RPGs with skill tree systems like this, so I'm fairly good at picking out skills that might be standouts, so I'll be briefly discussing the ones that I think could be better than the rest and glossing over some of the more basic ones. Also, because of the amount of skill trees and how large they can be, we're going to be going over these one video at a time. This helps me get the breakdowns out quicker. One large video can take quite a while for me to record and edit, so this will help me get more videos out faster. Also, I'm making these videos in a much less scripted way than my other videos, so I apologize for the occasional ums and ahs, and I'll try to keep the commentary as clean and concise as possible with edits after the fact. Also, I quickly want to go over the game's perk system, which is actually pretty unrestrictive as long as you have your attributes high enough to invest into said skills. Attributes are your main stats, being body, reflexes, technical, intelligence, and cool. Each attribute has 2 or 3 skills tied to them, and each skill has a perk tree. To level a skill, you have to utilize what that skill is based around. For example, to level your handgun skill, you have to use handguns, and to level your blades, you have to use bladed weapons. Keeping in mind, your skill level can only go as high as your attribute level. Leveling a skill usually awards perk points, but can sometimes give other bonuses like extra crit damage as well. You can also level multiple skills to get more perk points to use in different areas. Perk points are unrestricted and can be used anywhere in any tree. The perks you have access to are determined by your attribute level rather than your skill level, so if your body attribute is really high but you have 0 skill in Street Brawler, you can still invest points into almost any perk in that tree, even if you earn those points using pistols and shotguns. This is a rather free-flowing system, and some perks might end up being an auto-grab for free skill experience and in turn free perk points to use elsewhere. Skills like Cold Blood, which activates upon killing an enemy, or Health Regen, are examples of skills that can be used to farm skill XP, and I'm sure as this game is played, there'll be more optimal ways of picking perks just so you can get the most experience as possible. So in this one, I am going over the Handguns tree in the Reflexes attribute. Handguns is probably going to be one of the more useful ones for you at the beginning of the game because there are pistols everywhere, and they're just so abundant, and there's a lot of really good perks in here. So you usually start off here in the middle where your lowest level attribute requirements are, and then as you get out to the sides, that's where the higher ones are. And this particular tree has 2 capstones, which we'll get to later. But right here in the beginning, you get increased damage. Level 3, I think it's 5. It's either 3 to 5% per level. I grabbed this one just because it's easy, although I probably should have grabbed Rio Bravo because this one's really good too. Long shot drop pop increases damage with pistols against enemies 5 meters away. This is just nice because it's a little bit of extra damage from anything that's more than 5 meters away, and a lot of your engagements will be like that unless you're stealthing and sneaking up on people. So Rio Bravo increases headshot damage by 10%, and it's probably 10% by each. If it's not 10%, I'm not sure, but still, headshot damage is nice. That'll be really cool in combination with some of this other stuff. Gunslinger reduces reload time for 2 pistols, probably by 30% after you invest 3. On the fly, draw and holster your weapons faster. This one seems kind of useless in my mind personally, but if you want it, you can grab it. High Noon increases crit chance. This is probably really good to combine with other stuff. Crit chance is not headshots. Headshots are not crits. Crits are definitely passive and random, so the more crit chance you can stack, the more damage you're going to end up dealing and the more crits you're going to get. So OK Corral, deal 50% more damage with pistols and revolvers to enemies whose health is below 25%. This can be kind of nice. I don't think this is going to be as good as the Assault Tree has one that you deal 50% more damage to targets with over 50% health. That feels this feels a little less useful than that, but it could be good in combination with some other stuff like attritional fire. Firing consecutive shots with a pistol or revolver at the same target increases damage by 10%. This will be really good against bosses when you combine it with, we're going to skip down here, Grand Finale. The last round in a pistol or revolver clip does double damage. This is kind of like Money Shot from Borderlands 2, if you ever played that, or some other games have had similar effects. So you could stack a bunch of damage on a target, and then that last shot is going to deal massive damage to a boss or just a tanky guy. And these two are going to be real, attritional fire and Grand Finale are going to be really easy. Like, that's just going to be such a good synergy there. These are the two that I picked out, aside from the capstones, of course, that will be a pretty big deal, along with Wild West, which removes the damage penalty from pistols and revolvers when shooting from a distance. There is damage fall off, so this will make it so you could use your pistols like a sniper, put a scope on it. I think you can. This is just a nice passive effect, and if you're going to be using pistols most of the time, it's just gonna be very handy. Reducing pistol recoil. The recoil is a little bit goofy in this game. I'm not sure how much this is actually going to affect the pistol recoil. Some of the semi-auto pistols and like a lot of the semi-auto pistols and the smaller caliber ones, the ones that aren't revolvers, don't have a whole lot of recoil, so I'm not sure how much this will help those. And revolvers they're pretty crazy when it comes to recoil, so I don't know how much this is going to help. Just 30% across the board. But if you're having trouble with recoil, this could actually help quite a bit. Vanishing point. Evasion increases 25% for 6 seconds after performing a dodge with a pistol or revolver equipped. I'm not sure what the evasion does. I don't know if that makes it so you just don't take damage. I have yet to find out what evasion does, but if it is just like passive dodge chance, then that could be kind of cool. Acrobat, you can now perform dodges while aiming with a pistol or revolver. Personally, I think the dodges are not super fun. They're a little annoying because you have to double tap a direction, and I don't know, the dodges don't seem to help that much. Maybe against melee, but not against gunfire. Unless you're in like this like time slow, then they might help. And we'll get to the capstone later. From head to toe, damage versus limbs with pistols and revolvers. You're going to want to going for headshots most of the time, but this might be an easy pickup if you have extra points, just because it's extra damage no matter where you hit them. But you do want to deal headshot damage as often as possible. Crit damage with pistols and revolvers by 10%. This is probably a 20% boost after you put both points in. This could be extremely good with the crit chance, the high noon crit chance, and Westworld, which just gives you 10% crit chance if your pistol is fully modded. And you're going to want to mod your pistols regardless, because that gives them more damage. So, you get probably 12% and then 10% there, so 22% crit chance just from these two skills alone. And then you get attritional fire and grand finale. So you got a lot of damage with pistols in this. Snowball effect. After defeating an enemy, fire rate for pistols and revolvers increased for 5% for 6 seconds, stacks with 5 times. This seems like it could be good, but it only lasts 6 seconds and stacks up to 5 times. I don't know unless it works in a way where the stacks timer resets every time you get a new one, then that'll be good. But if each stack has its own independent timer, this is not that great of a skill, in my opinion. Lead Sponge enables you to shoot pistols and revolvers while dodging. This also, just like Acrobat, doesn't seem all that useful to me, and is probably something I'm not going to bother picking up. My first build is probably just going to be a tanky handgun and assault rifle SMG dude who just walks in and fucks everybody up. So now we got on to the capstones. So the good, the bad, and the ugly. After a successful crit with pistol or revolver, damage and armor increased by 30% for 5 seconds. This is one of the skills that can be invested in indefinitely. It's got a little +0, so you can keep putting as many perk points into this skill as you want, as long as you're getting perk points. But I don't know if that's going to be necessarily worth it. You're going to get that 30% extra damage for 5 seconds, but each point additionally to that is only 1% per perk level, which doesn't seem all that useful. Like 1% per level when you could get other passive things like in Cold Blood. So 1 point in this is going to be really good, but I don't think it's going to be worth investing a bunch of points into this. And now brain power. After a successful headshot with a pistol or revolver, crit chance is increased by 25%. This is going to be really good with your other crit bonuses. So now after you get a headshot, you're going to increase your crit chance by 25%, plus the 24% you already have. That's over 50, that's almost 50%. And you have attritional fire, and you have grand finale. All for, like, you're just going to be dealing so much damage to single targets with this if you were to spec this out into like a crazy just pistol whipping build. And it's going to be really fun to make. I really want to make a gunslinger nomad who just runs around with a revolver and just annihilates people in 1 or 2 shots. That would be so much fun. But yeah, this is the pistol tree. I think it's going to be really good. I've already seen some builds with the pistols, and pistols are super solid, especially grand finale and attritional fire. I think are incredibly strong, especially together. Because like, let's say you get a revolver, 6-shot revolver, you put 5 shots into somebody, that's 50% damage on that enemy if they're like a boss or something, and then the final shot is going to do double that damage plus the double its base damage plus the 50% that it's already getting, or the 60% it's going to get. It really depends on if these 2 bonuses stack. Like if you get double damage and that 60% it's going to have is included in that double damage, that is insane. But if it doesn't stack that way, it's still going to be really good. So let me know what you guys think of this skill tree. I think the pistol skill tree is really cool. I've always been kind of like a gunslinger kind of pistol whipping, like, I don't know, I've got this weird curse where I'm always really good with pistols and then the pistols are bad, but I'm pretty good with the pistols. I don't know, it's always something I've done in like the Call of Duty games I've played. I just want to run around with pistols and pop people in the head. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. You guys have a good one. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button, and if you didn't, go ahead and dislike. Consider subscribing and hitting that bell so you see my future uploads. And if you have any questions about Cyberpunk or other RPGs, feel free to stop by my Twitch stream, link in the description. We talk about and play all kinds of RPGs and other stuff, so I hope to see you there. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.